What's going on, guys? I'm Chris, and welcome back to another tier list ranking video. Today, I am ranking every MCU project that is in development right now. This could be a movie that comes out next year. It could be a show that's just in the early going stages. But there's about 20 plus projects that are currently in development for the MCU, so I'm ranking these based on how excited I am. Before I dive into this, though, hit that like button and comment down below what MCU project you're the most excited for that's in development right now. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It would mean a lot. And if you want extra content, from reaction videos to commentary tracks to exclusive live Q&As, you can find that over on my Patreon. Any support over there truly does mean the world. But without further ado, let's dive into this tier list. All right, so the tiers I have are Need It Now, I'm Excited, I'm Curious, and Don't Care. There's about 20 plus projects, like I mentioned. They're randomized. Let's just start with the first one being Daredevil Born Again. This is the return of Daredevil. Now, is it going to acknowledge the Netflix series continuity? I would sure hope so. You've got Foggy and Karen returning. John Bernthal's Punisher is going to be in this. Bullseye is going to be in this. It seems like season 4 of Daredevil, they're just calling it Daredevil Born Again. I love that show. Quite frankly, it's one of the best Marvel projects in terms of television, maybe the best they've ever done. I'm going to say I need it now for one reason in particular. This can be the real home run hitter for the MCU on Disney+. They've been real hit or miss. Projects like Loki are beloved by most, but then you've got Secret Invasion and Echo and She-Hulk, which are just dismissed by so many people. If Daredevil Born Again can land, and then it gets a season 2, which I believe Charlie Cox recently said they're going to start filming soon, that can be Mr. Reliable, Mr. Consistency in terms of shows for the MCU, and really it can set up the street level side of things for the foreseeable future and tie into the films, maybe even Spider-Man 4, which we'll talk about later. But excited to see everyone back, especially Kingpin. The dynamic between Kingpin and Daredevil is a standout in that show. I just hope that it's still gritty and retains the qualities of that Netflix series. Moving on, though, we've got Agatha All Along, which comes out in, next month? Feels weird to say that out loud, but September 18th, I want to say, is the premiere date. I'm going to say I'm curious. I really am. If we had no footage, I would say to Don't Care, but that trailer piqued my interest. Now, I have to go in and approach this with the mindset of, well, Marvel makes great trailers all the time. After that Echo trailer, I was like, holy hell, we're going to have another Daredevil on our hands, and look how that turned out. So Marvel excels at making trailers that are going to hook you, but will the show deliver? I don't know. I'm curious to see how they continue post-WandaVision with Agatha. Will it bring Scarlet Witch back? The last time we saw her was Multiverse of Madness. If I had to bet, we'll probably see her in some way, shape, or form. But will this be a joke series, like a throwaway type show, or will it actually, have some significance in the MCU? I don't know, but I'm curious, borderline, and with that one. Moving on, we've got Blade. If you asked me about this movie years ago when it was actually announced, it'd be pretty high on my list. Blade coming to the MCU, Mahershala Ali coming off those 2 Oscar wins. I was like, hell yeah, bring it on. But with all the development hell this movie's gone through, honestly, I'm at the point, unfortunately, where I'm like, I'm almost to the point where I don't care. I still have some interest in there because Mahershala's attached, but I wouldn't be surprised if this movie got scrapped entirely. It's played director roulette, where it's had a new director, a new creative team working on the film. The only thing that stayed consistent is Mahershala as Blade. I don't know how long that man's going to wait out any longer. The film's currently slated for release in November of next year. I call BS. I think it's going to get delayed indefinitely and ultimately canned, which sucks because I want to see it. I want to see a great Blade movie in the MCU, but right now it's hard to be really even curious about this one because it seems like it's been production hell from the jump. Moving on, we've got Armor Wars, which I frankly don't care about. I'm going to put it at the bottom. I'm kind of done with the character Rhodey. He was a fine supporting, man in the Infinity Saga, but his role in Secret Invasion and the reveal surrounding that really soured me on Rhodey, especially within the continuity of the MCU. How much of Rhodey was actually him? I don't know if Marvel even knows, to be honest with you. I just don't care about Armor Wars. I feel like this is another one of those projects that's been announced for a while, but hasn't really gone anywhere. I feel like it will never see the light of day. It went from movie to show to maybe miniseries. I don't know what it even is anymore, but I don't think it's going to end up coming out anytime soon. Next, we have the Fantastic Four First Steps, I want to say, is now the official title of the film. We finally have that cast. For years, I was making videos talking about this, and we just had no clue who the cast even was. I'm all in. We saw that leaked footage from SDCC, and I am sold. Michael Giacchino's composing. Recently, he said his score is going to be very comparable to the Incredibles score, which sent chills down my spine just reading it. I feel like this is going to be a just delightful superhero film. I'm all in with the cast. Evan Ross Backrack as Ben Grimm, Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Johnny Storm being played by Joseph Quinn, of course Eddie Munson, and then you got Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards. Loved the vibe of what we saw. It's going in on that 60s period piece. I'm going to say I need it now, and I'm putting it at the top of that list. It's one of my most anticipated MCU movies for the foreseeable future, and I feel like it's going to be the first truly great Fantastic Four film that we've ever seen. Next, we've got a big one, Avengers Secret Wars. The Russo brothers are directing. It is the second of the next two Avengers films, and RDJ will star as Doctor Doom in this film. He's also going to star in Doomsday, which we'll talk about later. I will say this might shock a lot of you. I'm curious. I can't say I'm outright excited or need it now. I'm just going to put it at the top of I'm curious. The reason being, we don't have a squad of Avengers. I talked about this in a recent video that I'll link up above where I talk about RDJ's return, but what is building up to this movie? No projects have hinted at an Avengers squad being assembled, or even Doom's presence in the MCU. So I feel like these next two Avengers films are simply going to exist to try and make $1 or $2 billion, because we don't really have an Avengers team, unlike in the Infinity Saga when we had a team and we had their solo movies, they built up to the Avengers, we had some more sequels to their solo films, and then we had Age of Ultron, and that all culminated with Infinity War and Endgame eventually. I feel like there's no logical buildup to another team-up movie. It's just like, hey, we have the Avengers brand, let's throw it out there and make money off it. And so I'm a little concerned about Secret Wars and Doomsday. That's why I'd say I'm curious to see what direction we're headed in. I'm not all in on that. I don't need this movie now. I was in the camp, coming out of the theater for Endgame, I was like, we don't need an Avengers movie till 2030, and people thought I was crazy, but I look back now, and that could end up being the case. These movies could definitely get delayed, so I don't know. I'm curious, but I'm not over the moon excited. Next, we have Wonder Man. I will say I'm curious about this one. Probably going to go over WandaVision, though. Agatha, or Agatha All Along. That show's had like 30 different titles, forgive me. I want to say Yahya Abdul-Mateen is attached to play Wonder Man. I also want to say Bob Odenkirk has a supporting role. Those two things have me intrigued. I'm very unfamiliar with Wonder Man from the comics. I also wonder if this show will actually see the light of day. Sorry to be pretty on the nose with the Wonder reference there, but I'm curious, don't know much, but if Odenkirk's in it, if Yahya Abdul-Mateen's in it, you got a star-studded cast cooking. It seems like it could be a quality series on Disney+. Next, we have Ironheart. I was originally excited for this. I was originally curious for this. Now, I'm putting it at the top of it because I did like Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever. I think she was a standout character, but this should have come out a while ago. This should have come out like the spring of 2023, coming off the heels of Wakanda Forever. Now it's like, when is this show ever even going to see the light of day? It's been filmed forever. I remember in like 2022, before Wakanda Forever, I'm pretty sure this thing was filmed. So why has it been on the shelf for so long? Maybe there are some serious problems and it just wasn't landing with folks. Whatever the issue is, we need to see Ironheart yesterday. What is going on? I want to see this series. Riri Williams was, again, a bright spot of Wakanda Forever, but this feels like it's too late now. Like, has the opportunity for this series to come out passed? Has the ship sailed? Could be the case. Next, we have Spider-Man 4, which we don't have much news on for some bizarre reason. After the success of No Way Home, you would think this would be priority number one for the MCU and Sony, and it's 2024, almost 2025. We're not going to get this movie till at least 2026. What are we doing here, people? For Tom's trilogy, it was 2017, 2019, 2021. They were on it. Now it's like we've taken a step back. For what reason? This is a movie to me that I need now, and I'm putting it, frankly, at the top of that list. Spider-Man is maybe the most iconic superhero ever. Tom Holland's portrayal of the character rocked, and at the end of No Way Home, he's got a fresh start, essentially. He's got his new homemade suit. He can be that friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. We need to see street-level Spidey in New York City. Bring in Scorpion, played by Michael Mando. I'm sold. Maybe have Kingpin be in the film, have Daredevil show up, whatever you need to do. But Spidey in the MCU, we need it. We've had the Spider-Verse stuff. We have some of the live-action Spidey villain spinoffs, which are just terrible. What are we doing? We need Spider-Man 4 in the MCU now. This is one that I think I need more than any of the other movies. We gotta have Spidey back. Next is the live-action Wakanda series, which I don't even know if it's gonna happen, but it's still seemingly in development. Honestly, I'll put this in like probably right here at the back of it. It's just like, I have a feeling this is never gonna happen. I have the same gut feeling about some of the other shows on this list, but I don't know if exploring Wakanda in a series would really work. It seems like it would take almost an Eternals route, which Eternals would have worked better as a miniseries, but regardless, I don't know what characters are going to headline this, because Okoye we'll talk about later. Who's going to headline a live-action Wakanda series? Is it going to be about, like, the politics of Wakanda, like a West Wing in Wakanda? I don't know. Next, we have Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which this might be a hot take. I don't care about this one. I'm going to put it at the back of don't care. It's an animated Spider-Man show. It's not Tom Holland's Peter Parker, I want to say, so it's just, like, a Spider-Man that's out there. Maybe it is. I don't know enough about this show, but either way, I don't really want to watch an animated Spider-Man series because I already got the Spider-Verse trilogy. I've already got the Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. It's almost like, what's the point of this, especially if it's not going to add any context to Tom Holland's Peter Parker? I don't really care. Next, we got Nova, which I believe will be a series on Disney+. I would love to say that I'm, like, super excited for this. I'm just not familiar enough with the character of Nova to be. I have Wonder Man, and I'm curious. I'll put this in and I'll put it, like, right here, because I feel like I'm more intrigued by Ironheart and Blade because I'm familiar, but with Nova, it's, like, kind of unfamiliar territory for me. I know there's a lot of Nova fans out there. I don't know enough to really even speak on this, but I don't know why I should care right now. Next, we got Captain America Brave New World, which comes out in February. It is the next MCU movie on the lineup, and that trailer was solid. I didn't love it, but I can acknowledge that the action looks great, and Giancarlo Esposito doesn't miss when it comes to his performances. He's going to be playing Sidewinder. That was announced at SDCC, so he's playing the head of the Serpent Society. He's going to be a menace. What's new? I think the movie's going to deliver on the action, and I'm a fan of Sam Wilson as Captain America. I know that's a hot take, but I love me some Sam Wilson, so I'm going to say, all things considered, I'm excited for this movie. I'll put it there right now. I mean, I don't think it'll reach the heights of Civil War or Winter Soldier, but it doesn't have to. My fear with this one is it could be a bit too generic for the MCU. I also worry about the visuals, but again, we're so far off that some of the shoddy VFX from that trailer, they can definitely polish up, so that's not something I'm going to let weigh down, you know, my excitement for the movie. I'm ready. Sam Wilson as Cap, bring it on. Next, we have Marvel Zombies, which I don't care about at all. Maybe back when What If Season 1 came out, I would have cared, but I'm putting it at the back. I just don't care. I have no desire to watch this. There was one episode of What If, maybe two, where the zombies were a thing, and I was like, oh, this is a cool concept, but does it deserve a whole series? No, it doesn't. Moving on, we've got Avengers Doomsday. I have Secret Wars, and I'm curious. I got to put Doomsday, and I'm curious as well, but I'm more curious for Doomsday than Secret Wars. Actually, I'll put Secret Wars over it. Doomsday is the first Avengers film that's going to come out in less than 2 years. I want everyone here to realize that. This movie comes out May of 2026. It is August of 2024. The movie has not started filming yet. It's going to be a behemoth in post-production with all the VFX work that has to be done. I don't think this movie's coming out in May of 2026. I think it comes out in 2027, and they delay it yet again. I am curious because I want to know the route they take with RDJ coming back as Doom. Is he a Tony Stark variant? Is he just playing Victor Von Doom with no correlation to Iron Man? I fear that it will confuse and anger a lot of the general movie-going population and fans of the MCU. I'm more so concerned than anything that they're going to diminish the legacy of Tony Stark. I don't want to see that. He's the face of the MCU. You bring the actor back as the villain, the big baddie of the Avengers movies, not going to go over well with a lot of people, I fear. So I still have faith in Kevin Feige. The Russos are directing. They're capable. More than. We've seen that with the other Avengers films they've done, Civil War and Winter Soldier. But I'm very curious more than anything. I can't say I'm like outright pumped or excited or need it now. I'm just curious to see how they handle both of these Avengers films. Next, we got Vision Quest, which is going to feature the return of White Vision from the end of WandaVision. I don't care about this at all. I'm putting it like right here, maybe. I don't care. I wasn't a fan of WandaVision. I am done with Vision. I'm also done with Wanda. I've seen enough of those characters. Let's let them rest. What story is there to even tell here? Who knows? Apparently it's going to come out in 2026. I couldn't care less, frankly. For What If Season 3, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like, after sitting with Season 2 that came out last year, or whenever the hell it came out, I'm like, what purpose does What If serve anymore? It's like these fun little 20-minute shorts that kind of explore the idea of what if, but they also just introduce entirely new characters. I want What If to be, hey, what if Thanos snapped away the other half? Hey, what if Cap snapped instead of Iron Man? Like, I want things to happen where they take events from MCU movies and they kind of just switch characters doing certain actions to see what outcome that would have, as opposed to just making like, what if Happy Hogan saved Christmas? But frankly, I don't care. I'm going to put it at the top of don't care, because at least What If has established 2 seasons. We know what we're getting into, but I don't really care. Like, they could just stop What If, and I think I'd be fine. I think a lot of people would be like, okay, cool, I never watched it to begin with. Next, we have Thunderbolts, which I'm excited for, more than Brave New World even. Thunderbolts comes out next summer, and I'm ready. David Harbour's Red Guardian, Florence Pugh's Yelena, Sebastian Stan as Bucky, a group of other heroes in there as well, or anti-heroes, I should say, such as John Walker, Ghost, I want to say Taskmaster's in this film. Really excited for this one. The creative team they have involved seems to be clicking. We need that trailer. We need that footage from SDCC to leak so we can all watch it, or they could have the footage drop officially to the public at D23, which is coming up. But honestly, I'm excited for this one. Really am. It's honestly one of my most anticipated upcoming MCU films. I'm rooting for this one hard. Next, we have Shang-Chi 2. Apologies that the logo's kind of cut off here. I don't know what that's about. But this movie's still in development. I don't know why we haven't gotten it yet. Shang-Chi was a hit in 2021. It came out at a terrible time when the pandemic was raging, and it still managed to land with folks. I am curious, and I'm going to put it behind the Avengers films. I really just want to know where Shang-Chi's at in the Marvel Universe right now. Shang-Chi's seemingly set up to be a part of the Avengers, but we haven't seen or heard from this character in years now, so I don't know what the hell the deal is there, but I'm curious. Who's the villain going to be? How's it going to play into the Avengers films? We have some new dates for MCU films in 2026 and 2027. Will Shang-Chi maybe fill the gap between one of those Avengers films? We have no clue still. We'll find out, but I'm curious. I would be way more excited if this was like 2022, 2023, but it's kind of been a while playing that waiting game, and I'm just curious. How are they going to continue Shang-Chi? Next, we have X-Men 97 seasons 2 and 3. This is the interesting one on the list for me because I haven't watched X-Men 97. I'm considering doing a reaction series on my Patreon. If you guys would want to see that, if you would consider joining my Patreon to watch me watch that, please let me know down below. I will say, because, I haven't seen 2 and 3, I'm going to treat this as all of X-Men 97 and say I'm curious. I'm going to put it at the back. I'm curious to watch X-Men 97. I've heard nothing but great things. Some people telling me it's one of the best MCU projects, period. That's high, high, high praise. I'm curious to watch it. Hopefully I like it so that I can watch seasons 2 and 3. But coming off the heels of Deadpool and Wolverine, I'm more and more intrigued to revisit the X-Men films and go watch this series. Next, we have Okoye, which was announced a while ago to be a live-action series focusing on Okoye. Frankly, this is never going to happen. I am very confident in saying this will never happen. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to put it, actually, I'll put it at I'm more excited for an Okoye series than a live-action Wakanda series, but really and truly, what story is there to tell there? I don't even know. And then you've got Eyes of Wakanda, which is apparently an animated Wakanda series. So you have 3 projects revolving around Wakanda or characters from Black Panther with no real movement on them. We also don't have any news on a 3rd Black Panther film, despite the fact that Black Panther 2 did almost $900 million worldwide. I don't know what's going on. Eyes of Wakanda, I don't care about. I do care about it more than some of the projects down there, just because the animation of Wakanda would probably be pretty beautiful, but I don't know if that's like an anthology type thing, if that's following, a character. We don't know much about it, and frankly, I don't think Marvel even knows. But that does it for my tier list of ranking all the upcoming MCU projects that are in development based on my excitement. There it is right there. Lots to look forward to, lots of question marks at the same time where I'm like, are these shows or movies ever going to see the light of day? And I wonder if we'll get some clarity at D23 next week. Hopefully we do. But what upcoming MCU project are you the most excited for? Let me know in the comments down below, and hit that like button. Subscribe and hit that notification bell to help reach my goal of 150,000 subscribers here on the channel. It will mean a lot. And if you want to watch movies and shows with me and have reaction videos, live Q&As exclusively, you can find that over on my Patreon. Your support over there means the world. But that'll do it. Thank you guys as always for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.